Hi, everybody. My name is Tom. This is Colin, and we're from Better Company. We think anonymous messaging and anonymous feedback is incredibly powerful, but often it's used too much to spread negativity. Let's look at some of the stuff that's recently been shared on the new app, Secret. Here's something that's pretty negative about Dave Morin and his company, Path. There's another negative thing here about Facebook. And there's another negative thing here about how now it's no longer fun to work at Tumblr. We think that there's a better way to share anonymous feedback, and we've built an app called Better Company to do exactly that. What we do is help you share and also get yourself anonymous feedback from people that you actually interact with. So I'm going to show you how I use the app to get feedback about myself. What I do is I log in with LinkedIn, and as Colin is logging me in, I should say that this is not just bounded to who I work with in my company. It's everybody that I interact with, whether that be my friends or people that I work with at work or former peers, et cetera, et cetera. Colin's having a tough time remembering my password. I'm security conscious. While I wait, do you need any help getting in?
Yeah.
Here, why don't I log you in here?
Wow.
So the first thing, once I've logged in, what I'm seeing are people that I've recently interacted with this week, and I'm asked a simple question. How much do I respect Mark right now? I think Mark's watching, so I'll say a lot. And what now I'm asked to do is to say, what quality do I most admire about Mark? So I'm going to say that he's being very communicative right now. Communication, okay, or that. Here's Christian Myers. I respect him a lot right now. And he's been very approachable lately and very friendly with me. Here's Dave Hirsch. And let's say I just respect him somewhat. He hasn't responded to my emails this week. And so I'm going to say that communication is an area that he could improve upon. And so I'm able to go through these ratings very, very quickly, and it's a pretty frictionless rating UX. So now let's see how I'm perceived by people that have given me feedback. So I go into my profile, and I can see that right now I'm respected by 75% of the people that have given me feedback. And that if you see that there's this idea of who I respect in the respect list, these are people that I've said I respect a lot, and the feedback that they provide is going to be more heavily weighted than people that I don't know or that I don't necessarily care about what their feedback is. So back to the home screen, what I see is that right now creativity is my best quality. I've been pretty creative lately, and that's obviously showed to the people I've interacted with. On leadership, pretty good. 73%, that's down from last week. I probably didn't provide clear directions as to how to log in with my LinkedIn. And communication seems to be my worst quality right now. And what we're doing is, although most of the feedback is positive, we show one area that I can improve at any one time. So I realize that I need to be a better communicator, and I think about that. Up here in the right-hand corner, I notice that there's some feedback waiting for me. And let's see what's sweet talking all about. Cool. Somebody's recently left me feedback and told me that I'm a good communicator. So while my overall communication score could be improved, somebody's telling me that I'm doing pretty good there. Original thinking is pretty good too. Great. So one of the things that makes this feedback different than everything else that's tried to win this space is, first and foremost, you cannot choose who to give feedback to. The app chooses it for you based on who we know you've interacted with. The other part of it is that the feedback that we're getting is private just to me. This is not going to be displayed in any kind of public setting unless you explicitly choose to do that. And so therefore, you're never going to be stacked ranked with this. You're never going to be penalized for the feedback that you're getting. So if you want to get better, we encourage you to go to bettercompany.co. We're actually going to be pushing our sign-up live right after we get off stage. And I encourage you that if you want to get better or share some feedback with others, to use our application. Thanks very much.
OK. Judges, we've seen Secret. We've seen a lot of interesting apps in this space before. David, what did you think? You're into this space.
Well, you know, I'm actually I'm an investor in Better Company from the last launch festival, where Tom presented an earlier version of this.
What was that company you did the last time?
Well, so it was actually partly because of David's feedback. What we realized that anything that exists more for the benefit of the employer than the employee, we had built a kind of top-down anonymous sentiment tool, was going to have a problem with long-term engagement. And so what we realized is that everybody cares about how they're perceived by others. It's one of those fundamental human interests. And so we actually consider ourselves a consumer company in that we're focused entirely on deriving and providing value to the individual. And this is the fruits of that labor.
Yes. So I mean, so I guess my feedback. I guess I would have given this to you privately, but I'll. Jason set it up, so
yeah.
It's a public setting. So I think the app, I think the app looks really great. I think the feedback looks really good. My question is about how structured the app is, and whether actually an app that's just way less structured would be actually more engaging and more viral.
Yeah.
And I actually think that Secret for Enterprise is a billion-dollar idea. And we kind of just touched on this briefly backstage.
Yeah.
I think somebody should do for Secret what Yammer did for Facebook social networking, and it doesn't have to be like mean or anything like that. It's not, you showed a couple examples of people on Secret saying mean things about people, but companies have always had this idea of a suggestion box, a place you could drop feedback. It would be anonymous or semi-anonymous, and it would be a way for management to get feedback when people would be afraid of retaliation. I still think that's a killer idea, and if you just had a simple Secret-like feed, I actually think that would potentially be more viral and engaging than this sort of highly structured approach.
And you and I have talked about this previously. We agree to disagree, I think, on this point, which is that we believe that, unfortunately, the natural tendency in unstructured feedback is to troll. And so as a consequence, it becomes a huge distraction. And although it's good for early growth, it's not a sustainable business in that there's either distraction or just simply the organization saying, we just don't want this and we want to shut it down.
Well, I'll give you a business model. So, so basically, so the thing that Yammer did is we let the employees just virally create the content, and then if the company wanted administrative control, they could pay for that. And that model would work really well in this world where, yes, there's trolling. There's also very positive suggestions that would be made.
Yep.
And if the company had the ability to excise, delete, the ones that they didn't like, I think they might be willing to pay for that.
Yep. For us, what we want to make individuals better. And there's no forcing function when it's, hey, let me complain to the world about what's going on. We want to create a more private and intimate experience for those that want to get better, and that's the approach that we've taken. There's certainly great value in that model, but for us, we want to make sure our passion is being able to help level up people and make them better, and we know that this is the best way to do that we've come up with so far.
So what is your business model?
So today, as we see ourselves as a consumer company, we're focused on really great engaged growth, because the data that we're capturing is one of the most valuable data sets that's yet to be expressed, which is how an individual has been perceived.
No, I agree with that. How are you going to make money?
So there's a Yammer-style model of selling the aggregate insights to the company and saying, look, your salespeople on the West Coast are perceived by the aggregate of your top-line funnel as poor listeners as compared to the East Coast. Those operational insights, we think there's a $100 million ARR business in those insights. But just to extend on that, that's kind of our default. We believe that there's an even more exciting opportunity to form this as kind of a new form of OAuth. Imagine Refresh asking our user for permission to get those insights that we hold about that user and display that inside of Refresh. So Don,
okay.
I'm about...
So let's hear it for Better Company. Well done.
Thanks a lot.